good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo and welcome today. You're joined by me, Daniel, and also today we have in Jude Smith.
Hey,
Awesome, so he does some pretty cool art here. Yeah, and you can check his work out at Jude_Smith.artstation.com. Also artstation.com/Jude Smith. But yeah, so today I've got my part 2 of the pug I'm painting along. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of pug work at the moment just because I enjoy painting pugs, so I just kind of wanted to do some fun pug stuff, which is fun. Yeah, so can you tell me a bit about yourself, Jude?
sure. I kind of have been interested in concept art for a long time. I came across like the art of Star Wars when I was like 13, 14-ish, and um, kind of from there on, I took a bit of an interest in it. Myself like Photoshop and a tablet. I messed around on that and any like art books I could find on comic art or concept art. I would get my hands on it and study from books and later on like YouTube, a lot of good YouTube
Awesome.
brush learned a lot from. And then I went to college. I got a bachelor's in media arts and animation. I for about 3 years, and I did pretty good there. And then I spent about a year after graduation just freelancing on small indie projects and working as a graphic designer. For about a year and a half, I got uh, I was getting a few different interviews with different companies, and BAM out in Vancouver, where I live now, offered me a 6-month contract, and the 6 months was done. They liked me enough to keep me, and I've been working there. Full games for like Marvel and Transformers.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're a pretty good company. I'm enjoying working there, and yeah,
So what was the company called?
BAM,
BAM.
Kabam, like
Oh yeah,
KABAM. Yeah.
Kabam. Yeah, I've heard of them. They look pretty cool. I think I've seen a few. Cause I look on ArtStation, look on the jobs. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they've posted there before. Yeah, there's quite a few companies there, which is quite cool. Um,
Yeah, Vancouver's a nice place. I before moving here, I didn't really know much about the area, and I didn't realize how much of a hub it is, kind of for concept art. And there are a lot of different studios.
hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like a lucky place to live, I suppose, for you.
Yeah, I feel pretty fortunate to be out here.
Hmm. Awesome. Um, what brought you to doing like concept art for kind of mobile games and things?
It was at the time it was I had interviewed with like Ubisoft and a few other studios, and everything kind of kept falling through for one reason or another. And one came in and gave me a shot, and been pretty good to me since I've been there, and I've had the had a lot of good opportunities to meet other people from other studios. From what I've heard, Kabam uh, treats people pretty well, and other artists. So I've really enjoyed working there.
Awesome. Have you met any like really cool artists at Kabam?
Actually, I was the first concept artist they hired for a while. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just me. on the first project I worked on throughout the whole production, and then the company grew a lot since I've been there. I think I was the 120th hire, and then now we're close to like 350, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, and so now there's artists now, and yeah, there are a bunch of them are from like Capcom, BioWare, um, and they it's been really good working with everyone. Every addition to the team, they're all really experienced people, and I've learned a lot from them.
Mm. Do you usually work in quite big teams, or how does that kind of go?
At first, for my first project, it wasn't too big. I think there were maybe around like 5 people working on it. But the teams have almost doubled since then. So
Mm.
uh, people are usually surprised when they come visit the studio, um, because it's a mobile studio. I guess people don't always realize how much work goes into them, and then they show up and 3 employees there. I mean, 300 employees there, and that's a lot of work.
Mm. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, I finished a game lately, the Dark Souls game, and just
Oh yeah,
looking at all the people that contributed that is like, oh my gosh, and it's interesting because most of their names are, I think Chinese, Japanese.
yeah. No, and it's crazy like how many you know dev studios work under the lead studio. So
Mm.
I'm sure like anytime like you look at like a Call of Duty game, there's always Activision, and then you
Yeah.
have like Treyarch, and then you have Sledgehammer, and all these other um, umbrella companies or
Mm.
studios also doing. They have
Yeah.
huge teams too. So
It's always interesting to see because you see in a lot of games, you see the starting screen. Before that, you get like all the major um people that companies that worked on it. So you get like Activision, and then you like THX, and then you get like Sony Entertainment. It's quite interesting seeing all those different logos pop up before you actually see the game.
yeah, like I really didn't pay attention to that stuff so much before like getting out of college, and then when you actually start like looking for work, you're like, oh well, wow, like I realized that there's so many more studios than I really thought. You always think of just the lead studios or the producers, and then there are a lot of just dev studios scattered around that
Mm.
heard of it. Yeah, no, it's cool to kind of to see who works on what.
Mm. Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, looking at your work online, from what I see, it looks like you like enjoy doing kind of really armored people with guns and a lot of kind of sci-fi-ish warrior-like characters. Is that what you kind of always draw, mainly?
Yeah, I never really intentionally meant to like gravitate towards one theme, but I I've always really liked kind of the Ghost in the Shell
Hmm.
kind of aesthetic and that cyberpunk kind of. So I kind of just have leaned into it a lot lately, I guess. I mean, I kind of have spent the past 2 years doing a lot of learning and studying. I kind of just wanted to focus on doing some fun stuff. The direction I've been going in.
Hmm. What kind of like different crazy things have you done? You know.
Or like work, or just
Um.
personally.
Yeah, just like in general, like how far a different kind of a field would you go? You know, if that makes sense.
Like where I want to go career wise.
Um, yeah, per se, I'm more talking about, like, um, for instance, one day you could be doing, sci-fi punk. Would you go as far as doing something like, really children's books, or like,
Okay.
no, you kind of stick to that kind of thing you're interested.
Yeah, I've done some illustration work for publishing companies. I would like to kind of be in the position where I can kind of where I have enough just to kind of pick and choose from. So
Mm.
as long as the idea is interesting, I'd be open to working on different. Uh, at some point, want to publish like an art book of my own of like short stories that I kind of just illustrate, but a loose idea that then I haven't done more with
Mm.
one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite cool. I mean, you do what you do, I quite enjoy what I do. I create, like, I like doing kind of children illustration kind of a thing, it's my main target audience is children. Um, so that's the kind of thing I like to do, like create characters, um, in that kind of, that feeling to it, it's not,
And yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I'm a big fan of like animation art.
Oh, you're a big fan of animation art?
Yeah, I love animation art, but I was curious, like, since you draw like a lot of like children illustrations, do you like look at a lot of animation art?
Um, I look at all sorts of art. I mean, yeah, animation art's pretty cool. Like, I mean, last night I watched Aladdin, the original, like, um movie,
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
from like 1992, I think it was, or something like that. But I actually quite like seeing those kids movies. They're quite entertaining.
Um,
What got me into kind of wanting to do this whole thing is kind of, um, things like, Family Guy. I know that's kind of not
yeah,
children's,
yeah.
but I like the animation, and also
No,
like,
that's cool.
yeah, like, just looking at all those kind of things, it's just really cool to see. The art of books, I don't get to really see them much. One, because they're quite expensive, but I don't get to see a lot of that stuff. But if I do get that kind of glimpse, I see a lot of that online anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. I really love animation art. I'm a big fan of like Disney, obviously
mm,
Pixar, and Studio Ghibli. I kind of wasn't into like anime for a long time, and then I saw Castle in the Sky, and that
mm,
that shifted my opinion completely. And
yeah,
there's
it's
something there's something about the the work and dedication that goes into animation art
mm,
that is really you don't see anywhere else.
mm,
It's really whimsical. Gives you a lot of they draw on emotion. They try to present emotion. I don't know, something about it I really like.
yeah, it's I like their, like, storytelling, and the way they kind of present things like that. Like,
Have
watch it.
you have you watched the latest Toy Story?
No, I haven't got that far.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. I just saw it last weekend with my daughter, and
Awesome.
I was really impressed. And I was kind of skeptical going in, but
Mm,
but I really enjoyed it.
yeah. Oh, how old's your daughter? If you don't mind me asking.
She is 5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, my daughter's just 1 and 2 months at the
Okay.
moment. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully everyone doesn't kind of hear her screaming at the moment, but she just kind of woke up, and um, but that's the way it is.
Well, you gotta get her started early on drawing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she has her daycare where she kind of plays around with paints and things. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting that she's, playing around with paint so early. So, but it's up to her whether she wants to like pick up a pencil, kind
Oh,
of thing.
definitely.
Mm. Yeah.
I took my daughter to there was a Monet exhibit in town, and I took my daughter to go look at the paintings, and it was funny how she wasn't as impressed. Like
Yeah.
you like if only you understood the history behind these paintings. But
Yeah.
it was funny because there's this book I read to her where um, this little girl with her grandmother to a Monet exhibit, and she jumps into these paintings and basically lives through the scene, whatever is being depicted in the painting,
Mm.
and then runs over to another painting, jumps in, and when we got to, I was excited to take her to this exhibit because I knew she would recognize the paintings from her book, and she was very disappointed that we could not jump into the paintings in real life.
Y-
It was funny. It was cute.
yeah. Well, that's awesome. But yeah, you take taking her to something, and it's like, oh, this is not that great.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny.
Hmm. Interesting. Um, do you find it kind of hard to work around your daughter sometimes, or you kind of do you
Um,
have challenges? Here we go. Do you have challenges in working around your daughter to paint?
I mean, sometimes uh, at first it was kind of difficult, but just getting
Mm.
used to it. You know, they grow up so fast and their schedules change, so you're constantly kind of shifting. But now that she's a little older, that schedule and every day, and she goes to school now, so
Mm.
we have her in a pretty good routine, and I kind of just work around that.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it is definitely like what you said in the first stages. Um, I mean, for my daughter, it was, she was waking up every 3 hours to begin with for the first few months or whatever. Um,
uh,
and also getting up during the night as well. It was quite challenging to then, have the energy or motivation to even want to paint after like looking after her as well. But I managed to get through it, and I still, keep going, and yeah, you just work around it, eh?
yeah, definitely. I think that's always kind of how this career is. You know, you kind of if you're a freelancer, you're always juggling different projects, and they're all timed. Have a different deadline.
Hmm.
It's kind of just you kind of get used to it eventually, and then once you get like a set schedule, you kind of that's always nice. Have a bonus. So
Hmm. It's always changing too for me. Like I always have to switch gears or change times that I'm working. Um,
yeah,
like for instance, I notice I get more done at night now a little bit. Um, so I feel like so I used to get up early at 6 a.m. to start painting before Bubba's up. Um, but I seem to not be able to get up, and also if I do get up, I don't do as much work as well.
and,
So I switched that so I would stay up later, and that has been helpful. Just
yeah,
it lets me know now I'm actually working a little bit more at night. Um, I'm not getting that stuff done in the morning, but if there's anything like major I have to do in the morning, I still have like I can get up at like 7:30 or something and still get like half an hour or something done. Whether it's like sometimes just like exporting a video or you know just fixing a few things here and there. But yeah, what?
I don't know how you manage to do that because there's no way I can get up that early to start working, and then like I usually like get started on things at like 8:30 in the evening, and then just work till like 1:30.
Oh, cool. So you're like a night owl.
Yeah, yeah. I have to. I can't get up in the morning and do work. It's impossible for me.
Oh, this interesting. Have you always been like a night owl?
Not. No, it's weird because I'm not really, but I will just like drink coffee and just
Mm.
in the flow and sketch away until it's time to go to bed. So
Right, it is so good. I mean, everyone's like schedules work differently. Um, I mean, I think I watched a video which was interesting about kind of proper night owls. You know, people that actually stay up at night. Sometimes people are obviously bit into their routine where they work during the day, or get something on during the day, and then they have to work at night. Um, but people actually are, that routine of actually working through the night and then, sleeping during the day. Like what the effects of actually waking up early would be,
uh,
tiredness, and it's quite interesting to watch. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a pretty good schedule now. 6.5 hours of sleep and work
Hmm.
uh, at a studio for 8 hours. Doing art is nice, and then getting to come home and work on personal projects or do some freelance work. So
Hmm.
for a couple of hours, 3 4 hours.
Awesome. So all up, would you say you work about 10ish hours a day or more?
Probably around 10. Probably around 10.
Hmm.
Varies. Sometimes when you're like in the zone late at night and you're like you can't turn it off
Hmm.
over that.
Yeah.
But
I know that feeling. It's like, you just want to, finish the background or something, and then you
yeah,
go and, finish some more of the character or something.
it happens to me all the time where I'll finally be like I'll finally be in the groove and I won't be able to turn it off and I have to force myself to go to sleep. Otherwise, I know I'll regret it in the morning and will be useless.
Hmm. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, well, if I don't go to bed now, um, I'm not gonna be able to get up for work or something like that. So, um, it is quite challenging too. And it's the same thing that I mean, at the moment, with I might get in the zone or painting, and then something will disturb me, um, and yeah. Do you find it hard to get back into kind of the zone, or nah?
It is tough because you've already been drawing for 8 hours. Um, sometimes you have life drawing in between that,
Mm.
and you come home and you got to take care of your family and get dinner on the table, get the kid into bed, and get back to it. So it is tough, but if you reserve that time for working on projects that you really enjoy, then it makes it a lot easier. Working on your portfolio,
Mm,
anything to like sharpen.
definitely.
Doing those kinds of activities have helped me kind of keep going. So
Mm,
not too bad, but you definitely have those days where you got to just step away,
yeah, definitely.
do a game or watch a movie or something. So
Yeah. Yeah. Some days you just got to do something else. Um, you know.
yeah, yeah, hopefully.
Sometimes, yeah, spending a bit of quite a while away from doing painting and creating, it feels much better when I do come back to it, and spend so much more time um after doing that.
I like to take like 2 weeks in the summer to not
Mm,
do anything, and then around Christmas I'll take another 2 weeks to just take a break from.
awesome. Well, that sounds really cool. I mean, for me, I mean, at the position I'm at now, I'd be taking like 2 weeks off work to actually be painting full time for 2 weeks. That's just the stage I'm at now. But it'd be interesting to if when I do get to that stage of actually doing it full time, taking 2 weeks off. How would that feel for me?
It's it's weird, if you're like me, sometimes it's hard to turn it off,
Hmm.
but to step away and let your mind reset.
Hmm.
It helps me a lot, at least. Um, I think sometimes when you just push yourself too much and you your brain with all these ideas, it becomes hard to become decisive. So stepping back allows you to focus
Hmm.
on what you find important and to drawing kind of perspective.
Hmm. Well, even maybe not completely off of it. Maybe even just doing like I think was the last night? Or it was 2 nights ago. I just decided, or well, I'll just take 15 minutes of just like gesture drawing, just something, just drawing
Yeah.
random stuff. Not it's not going anywhere. It's just kind of for the sake of drawing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure.
that feels good. Just a bit of loose drawing that's not really, there's no pressure on me about creating good work or anything like that. It's just for the fun of it. um, that is always great to do.
I try to carry a sketchbook with me and and use it whenever I'm just getting around on my phone or whatever. So they use those to just think of something useful or come up with some sort of idea.
Hmm.
Or nothing at all, maybe it's just some ideas that will never be seen or anything.
Hmm. Awesome. So I see you done a bit of fan art. Does that kind of help you, and if so, how?
I like it. I like to do it honestly, just to get a, and then because I don't like to do direct copies all the time. I find that
Hmm.
kind of boring. But I like to take and think of like, oh, I want to know what my version of, you know, you know, a Stranding character might look like and
Hmm.
all that. So I like to do fan art in that way where um, it's derivative of something, but it allows me to have room to put my own ideas in.
Hmm.
So it's not just directly copying and not thinking about
Hmm. Yeah, exactly kind of what I'm doing now. I'm taking a pug and I'm thinking what would it look like in a genie character, um, or such and such. I'm doing like
uh,
I'm thinking about doing different kind of studios because I did DC Universe with Harley Quinn. I did Iron Pug for Marvel. Done Genie for Disney. Um, and possibly a GB Studios one at some point would be cool. Yeah.
And that stuff is fun to do because it forces you to problem solve, and I really
Mm.
enjoy problem solving and finding ways to make things make sense and fit in. So
Mm.
I really enjoy doing that.
Mm. Um, for your pieces, do you find mistakes early on, or do you often find mistakes later on?
Um, it's I try to sketch things out more and more now to eliminate that.
Hmm.
Uh, I think when you don't plan things out, it time because you're constantly adjusting, constantly repainting. So I try to now sketch things out a little bit more, and
Mm.
there's always going to be changes as you go, but or adjustments. I now to just cutting down time. I try to plan things out a little bit more and
Mm.
put a little more importance on sketching and thumbnails.
Awesome. Yeah, they're very important. Like, making something look good at a like small scale. Because if you blow it up, it's not gonna look any better.
It's easy to like get carried away with the excitement and of
Mm.
using different programs and using 3D and rendering programs. But if your foundation isn't good and your sketch or your idea isn't solid, then you're gonna end up doing a lot of repainting, which I have done.
Mm.
There are so many more, sketches and drawings that are never getting finished just because I just didn't think it through right.
Mm.
So I'm trying to plan things out better so I don't run into that all the
Mm. Sometimes it's just making those errors. Yeah.
time. Yeah, no, that's part of any artist's development is those mistakes. I
Mm.
think that's the toughest part of the industry, just breaking into the industry too. Is just accepting where you're at and learning how to get past those walls.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It happens all the time. I mean, for me the other day, I looked at a piece, the unpack one, and I was like, oh, I'm missing something here. Like the tones weren't right for the background wasn't kind of going right. So I kind of just re kind of iterated a little bit with the tones and things.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like every 6 months, I wish I could like wipe my portfolio and do a new one.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
I went to a massive black workshop last September.
hmm.
Portfolio reviewed by by Marco Durovic. I don't know if you know him, and I'm probably butchering that last name.
Marco. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he owns Six More Vodka. They Genesis. It's like a RPG game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they mostly they mostly do outsourcing for Riot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but uh, but yeah, that guy tore me apart. His review was so and like I knew he was definitely gonna rip into it, which is fine to him. But it definitely made me like look at my work and want to like completely reset and try.
Hmm. Did you like? Is this with the portfolio you have up now, or is this like completely different to what you have up now?
The majority of it is there. Yeah, yeah. It's all yeah. A lot of what he saw.
Yeah. Awesome. And have you like gone back and tweaked any, or you just kind of keep going?
No, well, that's why like I'm trying to put out like more work. Just to I thought a lot about. I took notes and during the lectures and during portfolio reviews, and like studying from those notes to try to figure out how I can relate them to my work now. So it was really insightful. And after those reviews, everything like that all the feedback that was given to me made a lot of sense. And it's weird because you put out a piece and you like it, and then someone else's just getting someone else's fresh eyes on it can really open up, um, make you really see things differently, and that
Hmm.
was really good and refreshing. And since then, I I feel a lot more confident in my new work too. So
Awesome. Yeah, you get that feeling sometimes, like, should I keep my portfolio up there? You know, when someone kind of um, demolishes it.
no, and it's good to have that done. It's
Mm,
good to have fresh set of eyes on your work, especially if you can get someone high profile who has you some feedback, and it goes a long way. It goes a long way.
mm. Yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, um, even when I was at School of Design doing um, course there, getting other people just to critique your work, not only like because you'd have like sessions where you kind of critique people's work, um, but I was always like every couple of days or every kind of um, couple of hours or something like that. Every now and again, I would just go around the class and get opinions and get critiques, which was very helpful. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, working on pieces and getting through that kind of getting better zone, and working on things, which is quite cool.
And
And yeah.
yeah, it's really important to do that. I share my personal work with my coworkers, go back and forth critiquing each other.
Hmm. It's just it's awesome to do. I mean, when we were kind of, I think we were like second year or something, with all the new students, like teaching them about critiquing was interesting because that kind of first year, the vibe, um, you don't really like getting critiques, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So it's just yeah, it's interesting trying to get them kind of out of their shell and get them to a point where they can take critiques, and keep pushing forward on their work. Um, it's always challenging.
Yeah, yeah. Art is so personal. Uh, everyone does it. I think as like a way to connect and to share your ideas.
Mm,
I understand. I definitely understand why it's hard for people to want to share their work and be
mm,
critiqued, but it really does
yeah.
benefit everyone as an artist to
Mm,
um, what people think of your work.
mm. Yeah. And it constantly happens too, like for me, my partner might say something about the work, just be like, I've worked on this for so long, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I can see what she's thinking about now, and
yeah,
be like, okay, I'll try it, and then I try it, and turns out she was right, she's, she's not an
yeah,
artist at all, but it's interesting having her around and seeing that, and she does help a
uh,
lot with that, yeah.
yeah. Anytime I show my wife my work and she doesn't like it, I know I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and it can be like, oh, I don't want to do that, but it's quite nice sometimes. You know, like your background's just crap or something like that. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, or this eye doesn't look right. I'm like, doesn't it? um, yeah, I'm working on it. Um, yeah. I mean, for me, backgrounds have been challenging because I'm more into characters. Um, So yeah, developing and learning backgrounds has been a constant thing I've been doing for the last couple of years, because I was more focused on just drawing the character, um, and yeah, I always run into problems with backgrounds, and I'm always challenging it. I've kind of this is what you're seeing now is part two, um, and you can see the major changes in the next video that I have out eventually. Um, the major changes where I do kind of because I'd say I was going without a plan, you know, for the background. Um, but now I've kind of like gotten to know the background a little bit more, kind of the feeling I want for the background and kind of tackled that. Um, yeah,
It's a rewarding feeling when you finally break through and start
mm,
to see.
definitely. Yeah, it's always. What has been a challenge for you?
Um, 3D has probably been the biggest issue for me. I really didn't enjoy it. Tried. My it didn't help that my instructor in college wasn't very helpful with it, and I just of Maya and 3ds Max. They're just too for me. And I really avoided 3D for a long time. And then I started to see how much to become a shift in concept art with artists using 3D. So I decided that it was probably time that I start to learn it.
Hmm.
Uh, I took a class on Learn Squared with Jama Jurbaev. He
Hmm.
taught this on 3D Code, and 3D Code is much more visual. It's a lot like using Photoshop,
Yeah.
but it's all just drawing in 3D. And then I really enjoy using it. I've started using ZBrush and Marvelous Designer. Now I'm
Awesome.
learning Blender.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's 3D can be kind of daunting, I think, but it really helps out with understanding shapes, and so um, it really helped me improve my work too. So
Awesome. That's good. Yeah, anything more you'd like to say?
no, I'm good. Let me know if you got any more questions for me.
That's about it. It's been it's been awesome. We've got through a few questions here and there. I mean, I could ask all the questions in the world. I just I'm eager to learn and um
And
chat to artists from around the world. So
oh
yeah.
yeah, where are you located?
So yeah, I'm in New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Um, I'm assuming you are a big Weta Workshop fan.
um, yeah, I like Weather Workshops. They're quite cool there. I've been,
I wanna work for them one day. I like that studio a lot.
yeah, it's it's definitely becoming kind of a world class
Uh,
studio now.
yeah,
Um,
they're. I'm going to the Lightbox Expo
mm,
in Pasadena next month, and they're doing a panel there. So
mm,
I'm excited to go check them out.
awesome. Yeah, that thanks for coming in. It's really awesome to have you in. Um,
No, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you did watch, whether it's on Twitch, because we stream this on Twitch, or what's on YouTube, take your pick. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Please do like, share, subscribe, and check out Jude's work as well. You mentioned Lightbox. That's an awesome event that's going to happen this year. You can go check out Schoolism and things like that to find out more details, and look up Lightbox. You'll find it. Yeah, have a good one, everyone. Goodbye.